The ocean, vast and endless, lies still under the fading light of sunset. It looks peaceful, almost divine, but beneath the calm surface there is a stirring. Invisible to the human eye, a swirl of energy begins to spiral. It starts as a whisper, warm waters meeting a slight disturbance in the air. Thousands of kilometers away, people live their lives, oblivious to what's about to emerge. Fishermen pull their nets, children play along the coast, families sit down for dinner. But far offshore, nature is preparing something monstrous. In the western Pacific, satellites capture the faint swirl of clouds beginning to organize. Meteorologists glance at their screens. The pressure is dropping. The sea is too warm, too inviting. Slowly but surely, a monster is awakening. This is no ordinary storm. In a few days, it will grow teeth. It will roar with winds that can rip trees from the ground and flood cities in minutes. It doesn't have a name yet, but soon the world will know it as Yagi, a super typhoon destined to etch its name into history. As the sky darkens and the first distant thunder rumbles, the ocean holds its breath. The beast is coming, and it's hungry. August 30th, 2024. A small low-pressure zone takes shape 535 kilometers off Palau. It's nothing unusual. The Pacific sees hundreds of these disturbances every year. But this one is different. The sea temperature is 30 degrees centigrade, high enough to supercharge any storm that dares to form. The air above is unstable, yet perfectly aligned to fuel the circulation. Like a sculptor's hands shaping clay, nature works silently but deliberately. In the Philippines, Pag-asa watches closely. By September 1st, the system strengthens. It earns a name, Enteng. For now, it's just a tropical depression. Winds pick up, rain clouds thicken. At the Joint Typhoon Warning Center, forecasters issue a formation alert. On satellite images, you can see the spiral bands tightening. Enteng is growing, feeding hungrily off the warm ocean. Its core is organizing. What started as a breath of air has become a force. And in a matter of hours, the world will realize this isn't just another storm. This is the beginning of something catastrophic. September 2nd, 2024. The Philippines is the first to feel the fury of Enteng. In Luzon, the sky turns dark at noon. Rain falls in sheets so thick it feels like the ocean has turned upside down. Palm trees bend to breaking point. Tin roofs scream as they're ripped from houses. Streets become rivers. Cars float like toys. In evacuation centers, families huddle in the dark, listening to the howling wind. 21 lives are lost. 26 people are reported missing. And yet, Enteng has barely begun to show its power. As it crosses Luzon, it weakens slightly. But this isn't the end. It's the calm before a much greater storm. Because now, Enteng is entering the South China Sea. And here, it will evolve. It will become something far more terrifying. Meteorologists issue a warning: rapid intensification likely. Fishermen in Vietnam and China are told to stay ashore. But for many, the danger still feels distant. They don't know the monster that's coming. By the time they understand, it may already be too late. In the South China Sea, Enteng sheds its name and is reborn as Yagi. September 5th, the day the storm becomes legend. Satellite images show an eye forming, sharp and deadly. Winds spiral around it at 260 kilometers per hour. The sea below boils with 15-meter waves. Lightning flashes inside the core like a warning from the gods. This is now a Category 5 Super Typhoon, one of only 4 ever recorded in the South China Sea. Ships flee, planes are grounded. From the coasts of China to the shores of Vietnam, people brace for impact. But no one can fully prepare for a force like this. Yagi isn't just a storm anymore. It's a predator, moving westward with calculated precision. And ahead of it lie 2 nations in its path, China and Vietnam. September 6, 2024. China sounds the alarm. In Hainan, schools close, airports are shut down. More than 400,000 people evacuate. On the highways, a line of cars snakes inland under pouring rain. Parents clutch their children as they board buses. The night sky flashes with distant lightning. In Hong Kong and Macau, bridges close, neon lights flicker in the wind. The cities fall silent, waiting. China hasn't seen a storm like this in 75 years. And as Yagi's eye nears Hainan's shores, the air feels electric, charged with fear and anticipation. September 7, 2024, Vietnam becomes ground zero. At 2 p.m., Yagi makes landfall in Haiphong and Quang Ninh. Winds scream at over 215 kilometers per hour. Waves crash over seawalls. Entire villages are swallowed by floodwaters. In the northern mountains, rain triggers landslides, burying homes in seconds. Survivors tell stories of water rising so fast there was no time to run. "We climbed onto the roof," one woman says, her voice breaking, but even the roof was swept away. 323 lives are lost, 22 people never found. This is the strongest typhoon to strike Vietnam in 7 decades. And the scars it leaves behind will take generations to heal. Even as Yagi weakens, its remnants continue to wreak havoc. In Laos and Myanmar, torrential rains cause rivers to burst their banks. Villages disappear under muddy water. In Myanmar alone, 433 people perish. Helicopters circle above stranded families, dropping food and supplies. But for many, help comes too late. Across 8 countries, the toll is staggering. 842 dead, $14 billion in damages. Yagi's path is marked not just by destruction, but by grief. And yet, in the wake of destruction, something else emerges: resilience. In Vietnam, neighbors help neighbors rebuild homes. In Myanmar, children smile as aid workers hand them notebooks and food. Across Asia, the human spirit rises from the floodwaters. But Yagi has left behind a warning. As our oceans warm, storms like this could become more frequent and more deadly. The question lingers: are we ready for the next one? For now, the sea lies calm again. But deep beneath the surface, we know the beast could awaken once more. This was Yagi, the storm that changed Asia.